Genesis 360, along with many of our members here today, are great examples of the business and community-minded members that stand ready to build our tomorrow. Let me introduce our organization, the Home Builders Association of Greater Baton Rouge, and its affiliated organizations. Our organization was founded in 1953, and our mission is to promote, protect, and preserve the home building industry as a viable economic force in Greater Baton Rouge. We cover the 9-parish Baton Rouge MSA, which is all the parishes that touch EBR. Today we have over 950 businesses as members. Our organization is the largest HBA in Louisiana, and we are number 12 in the nation. We all share the common goal to not only build homes, but enrich the communities in which we live and work. We also have a charitable arm, the Home Builders Foundation, that raises funds to help families and children in need. And we have raised over $21 million since 2003. We are here today to talk about construction costs and housing affordability challenges. Housing affordability affects everyone. There is no silver bullet solution to the housing affordability crisis. The effort requires comprehensive strategies at a federal, state, and local level to reduce building costs, boost supply, and empower home buyers with a mix of housing choices. Our organization, along with our affiliated organizations, offer a unique structure that allows us to address the home building industry issues on a federal, state, and local level together and with our vast and diverse network of members. Starting at the top, we have the national level, the National Association of Home Builders, NAHB, that we are directly affiliated with, located in Washington, D.C., and they have about 140,000 businesses as members. NAHB is the driving organization that advocates for the home building industry, and they are committed to protecting the American dream of housing opportunities for all. They address the industry's top priorities across the nation, such as housing affordability, workforce development, material costs, housing finance reform, the National Flood Insurance Program, and building codes. They work with the executive branch and policymakers on Capitol Hill to ensure we have a robust housing market. Our statewide organization, which we are also directly affiliated with, is the Louisiana Home Builders Association, LHBA. They have over 4,000 businesses as members, and they represent our home building industry before state and regulatory bodies. They serve as the chief advocate of private property rights. They educate the public on utilizing licensed builders. They also provide our statewide insurance programs such as workers' comp, general liability, and builders risk. Here locally, we are the grassroots, boots on the ground level, working with local municipalities and our communities where we live and work to focus on providing safe, affordable, quality housing for all. We work on land use initiatives and issues, then go up to residential like commercial, as well as multifamily. The home building industry's economic impact is large. According to a study conducted by NAHB's economic department in 2017, for every 1,000 single-family homes built in Greater Baton Rouge, which in 2017 over 3,000 homes were built, the building industry generates over $17 million in revenue to local governments and over $196 million in income for local residents. This demonstrates the need to remain focused on housing affordability to ensure we can produce the inventory needed to meet the demand. The housing industry is central to the American family life and critical to a thriving economy. The state of the housing industry is a good gauge of the broader economy and the condition of the nation's social fabric. As a result of our current market, we continue to experience high demand for housing, low supply, low unemployment coupled with a labor shortage, and skyrocketing material costs. You can see why housing affordability is a national crisis. The latest numbers show that 7 out of 10 households lack the income to qualify for a mortgage. Low existing home inventory and strong buyer demand will keep housing moving forward in 2022, even as builders continue to grapple with ongoing production bottlenecks and labor shortages that will limit the pace of construction and keep upward pressure on home prices. Looking at the supply side, we track housing and lot inventory, and as of January 2022, our housing inventory in Greater Baton Rouge is down 52% over January 2021. Parade of Homes, our local event designed to educate our community on innovative home building trends and living options, is a key indicator of the local home building challenges. There are less homes that will be completed in time due to a lack of lots and severe supply chain disruptions. Long delays have made it challenging to complete houses timely. Windows, appliances, stone have very limited options, and the delivery delays have been frustrating to say the least. Also, furniture delivery delays have created staging issues for the houses. So we remain creative in how we showcase these challenges to our community. Now let's look at other inputs that greatly affect housing affordability. Owning or renting a suitable home is increasingly out of financial reach for many households. In fact, almost a third of the nation's households are cost burdened and pay more than 30% of their income for housing. The cost of housing is determined by a complex equation involving labor and material prices, interest rates and financing costs, federal, state, and local regulation, and supply and demand. In today's market, a limited supply of land, a shortage of skilled labor, and rising fees are all contributing to higher prices. The median single-family home price in Greater Baton Rouge rose over 8% from January 2021 to January 2022. East Baton Rouge, Ascension, and Livingston all rose, with Livingston's median single-family home price increasing 10%. Nationally, 87.5 million households are not able to afford a median-priced home. Specifically, material costs have dramatically increased, a major driving factor that we are currently experiencing and will continue to experience with increased gas prices and the labor shortage is freight issues. The supply side constraints include ongoing labor shortages and a lack of key housing products that include garage doors, appliances, and windows. All this is delaying single-family construction times across the nation and putting upward pressure on home prices. We are also following the impacts on the availability of goods and services with the war in Ukraine. Let's think about our own homes. The concrete, lumber, windows, roofing shingles, glass, and stone, along with raw materials from overseas, have all seen dramatic increases year over year. As an industry, we are looking at where our imports come from, and any change in our trade patterns would again delay or disrupt the supply chain. Building material costs are up 21% compared to a year ago. Their price and availability, along with persistent supply chain bottlenecks, remain the most urgent challenge for builders as they seek to production to meet rising demand. Higher construction costs, particularly for lumber and OSB, along with the limited availability of building materials, is making it more difficult for builders to meet market demand. Projects are often delayed or even removed. To highlight the lumber price increase specifically, here locally, a quote for a home's lumber package has increased over 45% since September of last year. That can be over a $20,000 increase on just one home and one material. Lumber, like oil, fluctuates. It's a commodity and publicly traded. Price could come down, but as it stands now, it continues to rise. Overall, the lumber price has increased 241% since late August of last year. Other products like doors and windows typically would have a modest price increase once a year. However, like some roofing shingles where the raw materials come from Ukraine, we saw a 10% increase overnight. Prices for metals such as aluminum and nickel have increased because of the conflict as well. And steel comes from Ukraine as well, so the price for reinforcement steel used for slabs has also increased. The fact that several factors are contributing to the high cost of new housing doesn't mean any one factor is unimportant. Although rising costs of materials are currently a key issue for builders, the almost 24% of the average new home price coming from government-imposed regulation remains noteworthy and economically important, and why we are steadfast in prioritizing reasonable and necessary regulation and work closely with federal, state, and local regulatory bodies. As a result of these continuing rising costs, almost 400 households in Greater Baton Rouge are priced out of a new home for every $1,000 price increase. As you can see, the soaring construction costs and the current housing affordability crisis are here and are affecting us all. Nationally, every $1,000 price increase prices almost 118,000 households out of the new home market. NAHB's Housing Opportunity Index tracks the share of homes sold in an area that would have been affordable to a family earning the local median income. Lansing, Michigan holds the top spot for the most affordable major housing market in the U.S. And following are Scranton and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Indianapolis, and Akron, Ohio. The nation's top affordable small markets include Cumberland, West Virginia at number 1, then Wheeling, West Virginia, Fairbanks, Alaska, California, Maryland, Springfield, Ohio, and Springfield, Illinois. Los Angeles, Long Beach, California remain the nation's least affordable major housing market, with the remaining 4 major housing markets all located in California. The top 5 least affordable small housing markets were also in California. We are often asked, how do we solve the housing affordability crisis? Well, as we know, the housing affordability problem is complex and will require efforts on many fronts. But ultimately, these efforts must involve more production of housing, not less. If housing demand outstrips supply, prices go up. We must find common ground with our stakeholders to address the supply chain crisis and labor shortages that are compounding the housing affordability challenges. Policymakers must work with industry to address the factors that are driving up pricing. We believe Americans deserve a choice. Providing a range of housing types is key to increase the supply of housing at various price points. When we talk about quality of life, our industry is here to provide safe, affordable, quality housing for all. These are the fundamental benefits that are essential to the well-being of families, communities, and our nation. In terms of affordability, we tend to think single-family detached homes and then apartments, townhomes as separate, and people quickly become concerned about the increasing density affecting neighborhood character. One way many communities in the United States are increasing density while maintaining a streetscape that is compatible with single-family housing types is to incorporate the concept of what is called the missing middle housing types. Because land cost and home size often limit affordability, a classic solution is to aim for greater density and or smaller lots and or smaller homes. Examples include single-family cottages, duplexes, townhomes, bungalow courts, and carriage houses. These and other missing middle housing types provide more units on less land than traditional single-family homes. Missing middle housing can assist in both increasing the number of units built and providing units for a wide variety of price points. This involves allowing a broader diversity of housing types than most ordinances allow today, but that were built in many communities historically. Building codes ensure safe homes and can affect housing affordability as well. Many codes proposed today are done so without regard of the cost to the home buyer. The original purpose of codes was to protect public health and safety. In some cases, agencies advocate for code changes that benefit specific product manufacturers and do not add to the protection of public health and safety, but are costly to implement, and those costs are ultimately passed to the homeowner. We are involved with our national, state, and local codes councils to work toward cost-effective and safe, necessary building codes. Workforce development is a factor we can focus on, and it addresses the labor shortage that affects housing affordability. We have an industry-wide effort to increase training, compensation, diversity, and productivity. We work closely with the Home Builders Institute, NAHB's educational arm, which focuses on talent recruitment, retention, and replacing skilled carpenters, framers, electricians, and plumbers, among other trades, to the tune of over $2 million by 2025. As an industry, we must be able to recruit more women, train and place more minority, disadvantaged, and second chance youth and adults, provide trade skills education and training to veterans and transitioning military, work together on a national immigration policy, and change entrenched and misguided perceptions of careers in construction, just to name a few. NAHB recently created a new partnership with Boys and Girls Club to introduce more of America's youth to a future career in residential construction. Working together to promote construction career pathways, NAHB and Boys and Girls Club of America will connect young people to individuals in the industry, providing them with the work-based learning and access to skill development programs. We are greatly looking forward to working with our state's Boys and Girls Clubs in the future. Neither the public nor the private sector can meet the housing affordability challenge alone. Together, we must seek, implement, and devise innovative solutions that enable more families to achieve home ownership or have access to suitable rental housing. Communities can enhance affordability with a comprehensive planning and development framework. Land and housing have become increasingly expensive because of a complex array of fees, layered regulatory requirements, and market factors. Strategies that waive fees, reduce costs, contribute funding, and create incentives can directly benefit developers and builders' ability to build more housing and for less cost. We are working through many solutions on a state and local level. Locally, we continue our work in the 9-parish area. Zoning and subdivision requirements can include a range of strategies for increasing housing affordability. Certainty, stability, predictability, and presumption of approval should be guiding principles in ensuring an efficient land development and approval process. Multiple, overlapping, uncoordinated approval processes increase housing costs as well as government's costs. We try and work with government to streamline and expedite development approvals, expedite approvals for affordable projects, eliminate multiple public hearings, develop clear, objective review standards, and diminish NIMBY, or not in my backyard, opposition. And we also update building codes that deter infill and redevelopment. It is vital for our continued growth to address the many challenges we face with housing affordability and create the needed opportunities our communities deserve to have. Partnerships can involve many different players to win community support, including land trust, housing authorities, and even employers. Also, when we are able to assemble land, infrastructure, and financing streams, as well as provide ongoing social support services, that create benefits and long-term success for everyone involved. Greater Baton Rouge has so many assets to recruit and retain talent, and the home building industry will be the ones to execute our vision for where we live, work, and play. We look forward to creating solutions with the many partners dedicated to building a brighter future. And this concludes my presentation.